What do we do in times of disruption when our communities are feeling unsafe and insecure, when the globe feels chaotic, when war is threatening, when we're witnessing people's being displaced from their homeland, a sovereign nation being attacked by a neighboring country, a powerful neighboring country? What do we do at home? What can we do? And how can we feel like we're working together to make this world a better place? Which is, I think, what we truly want, right? We want to feel like we can help. It really stinks feeling helpless when you're watching so many people in the world experience such dis-ease and disruption and violence, insecurity and instability. So this is me and my attempt to find a way in a simple home as part of my humdrum everyday life, how to weave some woo-woo, witchy energy work into my life in a way that can help bring greater peace, stability, and security in a time of disruption. Hi, I'm Erin Mahalitz. This is Magical Homemaking, and this is my take on energy work in times of disruption. My heart is with the Ukrainian people and all sovereign nations, all people who seek, deserve, are worthy of independence and freedom. And my heart goes out to all people who empathize and bring the energy of this disruption and pain and suffering into their hearts, into their lives. Many of us are emotionally impacted by witnessing this disruption. And I think many of us feel paralyzed and helpless and guilty for going about our regular day, pretending as if nothing is happening in the rest of the world. And I consulted tarot about this, about what to say this week. And this was the card, the 5 of Pentacles, of what's going on right now. And there is no better card in the tarot to describe or visually convey the experience of a displaced population who are without home, without the sacred and holy place in which their bodies long for rest. And we have refugees. And so we're really witnessing a very difficult time. And this is not the first time. We've seen countries all over the world, people of all different colors, ethnicities, and languages being displaced from their homes. This is not the first time. And what we long for, what we desire, I pulled the 6 of Wands, which is really the card for me of teamwork makes the dream work. We want to feel like we're part of the solution. We want to feel like we're doing something to make it better. And yet at the same time, so many of us feel in a way this way too. We don't feel like we're part of the larger powers that can do something. We may feel like this, a little helpless and disconnected ourselves. So how do we feel empowered? How do we feel like we're part of a bigger solution? And tarot proposed this idea of the Justice card. And I sat with this card for a while to figure out what that might mean for us. And the first thought that came to my mind was working towards justice, whatever that means for you. I was thinking about donations to organizations that are helping displaced peoples. That might mean, for example, changing the way you spend money, changing the way that you vote, because who do we give power to with our money and our votes that are supporting countries that are causing pain and suffering to other people? So that was my first thought. But my second thought, and this is really where the witchy woo-woo energy work comes in, is that the world is being thrown out of balance. It always has been out of balance in many ways. But right now, we're being flooded with the fear, the anxiety, the dis-ease of witnessing this disruption, this state of refugees and fleeing people from their homes and safety. I know my heart has been hurting all week. And so, for the most part, relatively peaceful, easygoing, nothing like watching these refugees pack a small bag, get on a train, and leave their homes and their safety and their communities to make one appreciate the abundance, the overwhelming abundance that is even a simple, basic home. But that ease, that even simplicity and joy and abundance is feeling interrupted, disrupted. I am feeling the dis-ease. And so here's my radical thought. Because I choose to believe that our small acts in our humble homes can influence and change the world, I know that if all of us, if just millions upon millions of us were to take the simple act of enjoying a simple meal with our families and filling our time with love, appreciation, and joy, I know that that energy will ripple throughout the world. And right now, our energies in our homes all across the world are being disrupted by this dis-ease. And I think that it's a weird thing. I think that that is good because we need to see and know what's going on. But I also think that in a way, the powers that are causing the violence are now causing violence in my life. And they are winning in my life, in my home, in our homes. And in a way, the way that we fight back, and I want to remove language of violence here, the way that we regain stability, security, safety, joy, and abundance is not by bringing us, our own homes, our own energy down into the vibration and frequency of dis-ease and disruption. We have to counterbalance. We have to counterbalance the violence, disruption, insecurity, and instability by doubling down on the small corners of our life where we can bring greater stability, greater ease, greater joy, greater appreciation for abundance. And we are not ignoring, we're not pretending it doesn't exist. On the contrary, we are bringing our small bit of medicine into the world to say, no, not today, Putin. You don't get to bring violence into my home. You don't get to bring disease and disruption into this peaceful enclave. We will disrupt your disruption with as much peace, joy, stability, and security as we can muster. So here are my ideas of things that you can do in your home to really counterbalance the negativity that's happening right now in the thinking of balancing the energetic scales of what's going on right now. And I wanted to keep it really simple. My first idea is to take a little extra time and cook a nourishing meal, sit down with one another, light a candle, do a moment with your family where you reflect on what went well, what was hard for the day, and creating these moments that are full of connection, community, really appreciating the table and the home and the meal that is available to you. More than ever, being grateful for what is available to you. Another idea is if you've got kiddos, I had a few different ideas to really use your relationship with your kiddos right now to create greater sense of stability, ease, and security. So taking a little extra effort at night to tuck them in, and really just thinking about bringing stability, security, peace, and ease. I was thinking about talking about bullies, having a conversation about what you can do, how you can act, how you can react, how you cannot react, and giving language in our small spheres that allow us to feel powerful with the bullies that are present in our small lives. Because when the big bullies win, the little bullies also kind of are given affirmation that if we're mean enough, if we bully hard enough, if we're violent enough, we can win. And we can take actions in our homes to make sure that's not true. I think we can sit still. I think we can meditate. And in the being still, we counterbalance all the winds and disruption of shift and change, which are also, I mean, I will always welcome change and shifting of things, especially as they bring rebirth and renewal, but we can sit in peace and silence when confronted with the energy of violence. I think a lot of grounding exercises like luminous roots deep into the earth, or imagining, I like to imagine the mycelium reaching up and connecting to my own energetic framework and network. I also sometimes enjoy imagining a tree sitting up against the trunk of a tree. These rooted, grounded efforts are really a great way to counteract the really heady space that we find ourselves in when we're empathizing and thinking about faraway places that are not part of our present, but at the same time, are present. Go for a walk, spend some time in nature, take a deep breath. Always, I think throughout this, we're appreciating, recognizing our abundance, and acknowledging that we have more than enough to share. And in that vein, taking action, using your whatever kind of abundance you have available to you to send some money, or to, and I would say, like, we can support communities that are far away in Ukraine that are now fleeing the borders into other countries, but we can also help families much closer to home, helping them find greater stability and security. And maybe even one of the energy or resources that you can give at this time is your time and volunteering at places that are supporting immigrant families, or helping marginalized communities and making sure that they have enough resources to thrive, things like that, which are part of the global effort to make sure that all people have a secure, safe, and stable place to live. All right, this is my radical take on simple things in the energetic, woo-woo, witchy way of the world to counterbalance the dis-ease and disruption that is happening in the world. I'm very curious what you think. I also know that there is action that we can take, but this is a simple way that I think throughout our days that we can bring in the power of our magical mindset and our power and our agency, even in our small homes and our small towns, to create a little bit of shift, a little bit of change, and to usher in as much goodness as possible. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think? All right, sending you much peace, stability, and security. And let me know how you are finding your way through a time of disruption. Ciao.